then I have one announcement. And we're going ahead and start just a weekly press conference. They don't have to sit here all week long waiting for little things, but it will be Wednesday at 11. As we've been doing here, there will be Wednesday, every Wednesday at 11. But you're always welcome at any time to come, call, to walk on. And so we want the media to feel welcomed and accessible to us. And for a family press conference, it's going to be Wednesday at 11. Now, for my one item of this. Yesterday, I reached out to the Paiute tribe, and I'm reaching out again. I'm asking for liaison from the Paiute tribe to come and sit down and let's begin to interface and to open up the dialogue. So we extend that. There are many things we need to talk about, and so we should start that dialogue now. And with that, having said that, I'll turn the time over to Andy.
Thank you, LaVoy. I do want to just reiterate, emphasize our desire to have an open dialogue with the Paiute tribe and to discuss their what they are desiring, what is their concern and their plans, and we certainly encourage that to happen. As many of you may have heard many times, we did not come down here to be protesters. We did not come down to stomp our feet and to cry about us being abused, even though that certainly has happened to the ranchers and property owners and to the people across the United States. We came down here to go to work. We came down here to get the loggers back to logging, the ranchers back to ranching, the miners back to mining, and also to make sure that our public lands are not closed off and restricted from public access, so that the hiker can hike, and the hunter can hunt, and the camper can camp. And that is why we're here. That is what we're doing. We are making great efforts to do that. But before all of this, we also came here to assist in getting the Hammonds out of prison and to address the human suffering that has been caused due to the actions of our federal government, primarily in actions such as this refuge represents. How the refuge took over 100 ranchers and lost their ranches in order to make this refuge. And we are here to address that. We know, without doubt, that the Hammonds do not deserve to be where they're at. And that Dwight and Stephen should be back with their families, enjoying raising their children, enjoying being with their grandchildren, with their wives and ranch. And this is something that has to be at the forefront. And we have to place ourselves in their situation. Imagine yourself unjustly being pulled away from your home and your life, away from your children, away from your occupation, because someone simply wanted power over you and was willing to put the system against you. Imagine you being in prison for 5 years simply because of a personal vendetta. And those are the reality of this case. But we are here to work, and we have been working. We have been we have teams that have been working on claiming and getting the deeds and the usage of the land straightened out. We've been working on the property boundaries, who is using what, so that those can be identified, claimed, and eventually deeded and protected. We also, as snow melts, we will be assisting the ranchers and the loggers and the miners and anybody else who has rights to the land and resources in using them. And kind of give you an example of that, there are many systems of irrigation. There are different improvements that have been torn out by the federal government that ranchers have needed to be used for many years, and we will begin assisting them in reestablishing those. And then we stand here as a defense for the ranchers, for the loggers, for the miners, for the hikers, for the hunters, and the campers, and so on. We stand in the defense to make sure that their rights will not be restricted as they go about using. And that is, if you will, the second step. The claiming is the first step. Getting those claims right, getting them established correctly and recorded correctly. And then as they go about using them, using their rights, we will protect them and we will assist them in using them. And we stand here for the people of Harney County and for the adjacent counties and any other people that need our help. We have organized and are in the middle of organizing rapid response teams so that as a rancher or a logger or other land user begins to begins to be abused by federal agencies, we can deploy them, if you will, in their defense legally, and also in a direct defense of their rights. And we believe that that is necessary in order for people to have confidence to be able to express and use their rights. One thing that I have, I guess, an additional to that or on that, we also want to give warning to federal agencies that begin to try to put the chains back on these people, to the Bureau of Land Management Range Comm, to the Bureau of Land Management officers, to the Fish and Wildlife Service and other federal officers that try to come in and scare the people like they did the Ranch family that removed their fence over. That we give them warning that they are not to do that. They are not to go in and try to place these chains back on these people as they freely use their lands as it's been appropriated to them, and as their forefathers established many generations ago. We intend on standing in defense of these people and for them to recognize the Constitution and their lack of authority to be administrating these land resources. We also, as many of you know, Harney County at one time was the wealthiest county in the state, and now it is poor. We plan on assisting the people in turning that around. We plan on getting the loggers actually back on the mountain to log. We understand that there's 7 to 10 years worth of dead trees that are still standing that are good lumber, and that it can be, like I said, 7 to 10 years before we even run out of that and have to cut down a live tree. Those need to be cut down, and they need to be milled. And we intend on getting a mill opened up that'll employ hundreds of people in this county. We also plan to intend on that before. To use their resources, to use their knowledge and their intelligence to assist us. This is, again, exciting. It will take some time to accomplish. We understand that it is a large undertaking, but it is necessary.
Is it back?
If we do not begin to do these things, we as a people will to the point where we will not be able to do. And so the time is now. Place is Harney County. These are the people. Thank you. And there's a question that how good schools are protecting the water It'll be threefold. It'll be legal, political, and open defense. We have a lot of political support, but I'll let them be the one to step up ahead. We also have a tremendous amount of deep pockets, if you will, financial support that are willing to invest in the people of Harney County so that they can get very low interest loans so that they can buy cattle, they can buy equipment,
buy mills and pay employees. Um, and then we also have support in other ways across the country.
Was your trip to Utah part of all support?
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely. Thank you.
So, did you get committed to support there? What was
We absolutely did. We were able to accomplish what we went to accomplish. And we actually have, as we've announced on Saturday, I believe we've announced this, where ranchers are going to be signing ending their contract with the federal government. And we have ranchers from those areas that are coming as well.
Are they coming? They're coming here to do that?
Yeah, so these rights, without going into too much detail, these rights were established by their forefathers, and the grass was the ranchers. And the contract is really the piece that takes the right out of their hands and gives the federal government authority to, the federal government authority to manage their ranch. So we're asking them to end that contract and stand back on their established rights. If they pay, and if the county, as they get organized, the county decides to charge a tax for this, that would be the proper way for taxes or so forth to be put forth. And we're working on that with teams of ranchers and exactly how that'll look and how they want to do that. And so I won't quote on it anymore.
So it doesn't sound like you're going anywhere anytime soon.
We're not going anywhere until we get these things right, get these jobs done.
So are you still putting out a call for help? I mean, you got a big job. You got enough bodies. You still want people?
We have a lot of bodies, and we know we're going to need more in all different areas, and claiming and using and assisting in development in the defense. So we call all those who have special talents in those areas to come. That would be the county.
I've seen pictures of how much further also spoke against the sheriff's office still barricaded and had accommodation. The I or the sheriff's office negotiated.
No, and negotiate is the wrong thing, because we're not here to negotiate on rights of it. We're here to make sure that the rights are protected. Ask the federal government, who has a role in defending the people of the state against the outside world, to begin performing that. We're asking the county, who is the highest elected official to hold policing authority in the county, to stand up and defend the people and their rights and get in line. There's no reason for those people to have the schools barricaded. There's no reason to have the county buildings barricaded. They're only creating fear inside the community. And the thing is, the community is getting wise to it. They know we're not here to hurt them. The greatest fear and the danger is them themselves. And so we're asking them to get in line, to do what they were elected and given authority by the people to do.
So let's talk about the Hammers for a second. Did you have contact with either Steve or Dwight since they've been in prison?
No, I've had contact with their family quite a bit. Not even Dwight.
And have you offered Susie any help, or she asked for any help because she's down there by herself?
We've visited quite a bit, and we've helped her in the ways that she has said she needed help.
Which is what?
Because of her privacy, I'm not going to disclose that. And it's still worth an effort, but that is not the direction we're going either.
Yes, Leroy, why don't you do it? It's going to be Friday at 4 p.m. It'll be down here at the conference center, and we're going to invite you, the media, to witness. We have 2 committed ranchers at this point that will sign this. Now, you need to understand how major this is. There's only 2 people in the world that have done this so far in this country. It's his father and myself. Somebody in Nevada, somebody in Arizona. By the end of that day, you'll have somebody in New Mexico, somebody in Oregon. So we'll have doubled in one day. The reason that's so significant is that when that rancher crosses the stream, he lays down the gauntlet and says, I will hold my grazing rights as a free man. I will no longer acknowledge the federal overlord and overseership of my ranch. And I will uphold my county and my county officials as the government closest to me. This is about federalism. We love government. I'll repeat that again. I believe in the federal government, the state government, and the county government, but in their proper role, in their proper places. The government closest to the people is that government which is most accountable. So that is what we're upholding. It affects us all across this nation, not just about cows, not just about grass, about your freedom, your ability to get a hold of an elected representative and know that you have a direct impact upon them. Most of these elected representatives around here in my county, 100 votes to 200 votes is usually what swings them. They know that we could get a handful of people if they're not acting in accordance with we the people, and we can sway it, and we can get them out. Do you think I'm going to get John McCain out? How long has he been there? A dinosaur's age of time. Well, what has he done for freedom?
Nothing.
And nothing. So, but our county officials, our county sheriff, I can sit down with them. I have sat down with them. I have looked them in the eyes. My county commissioners, supervisors, I've looked them in the eyes. They take the time to see us. I feel represented. I feel that I can have a say, not the way it is now. I hope that answers.
I'm going to lead the boy. I would like to address Article 4, Section 4. And this is the promise that the federal government gave the people of the states when they were enabled into the Union. And it says, the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republic form of government. And I would like to basically lay out, if I can, the situation just here at the refuge. You have a refuge manager, okay? And they've been very key in taking the land and resources away from the people. Now, that refuge manager was hired by someone who was hired, by someone who was hired, by someone who was hired, by someone who was appointed, by someone who was appointed, by someone who was elected. And that elected person is the President of the United States. Now, how are people to get redress in that system? That is not a republic form of government, and that is the reason why this individual, that manager, can abuse the people, take their ranches away, take their land away, their resources away, and get away with it. That is not the way this country was intended to be set up, and we must restore it back to the local government so that proper redress can be made and so the people are not abused. Thank you very much. Thank you. Then the people, that's a farce. And we could go into detail, and I'll give you that a little idea. Let me just answer your question about the fires, and then I think that'll answer all the questions. Multiple told me that when they were growing up and they were managing the fires, a large fire was only about 1,500 acres. Okay? And that was because the local people had a system in which they all went out and put the fire out. What we have now is a system where federal employees, firefighters, do not want the fire to be put out because, as their own quote says, black earth, green hand. Black earth, green hand. Or green palm, black earth, green palm, because they make a lot of money for that. It is much better in the local hands. The waste is not there, and the people are protected. Thank you. Yeah. Well, so thank you very much.
You are abandoned or what?
I'm abandoned, yes. I'm abandoned with the cameras.
You're not abandoned, you're on live.
I'm the lone holdout, holding the sign.
You want to say hello to everybody? You're on live.
Yes, my name is Pro-Life. I'm a farmer from Idaho. I'm just over here visiting. And
Didn't you run for office?
yes, I've run for governor in Idaho 3 times, for U.S. Senate and Congress. And I'm running for U.S. Senate this 2016. And I say that abortion is murder, socialism is collective theft, our money's counterfeit. It's a Ponzi scheme, and that we need to have God's law as the basis of man's law. We need to honor God, or we're not going to go anywhere. So that's a little message for you there. Thanks.
I'm with readoutnews.com. We're out of North Idaho.
Well, God bless you.
And we are live on Revolution Radio.
Oh, hey, that's very nice. I know Revolution Radio.
There you go.
Yeah, I had this sign made.
That's
One of
a-
my friends paid for it. I had too poor to pay for it.
Okay, I'm going to sign off and go get my coat and my gloves because I'm frozen. And we'll see if we can't get down there and get some more interviews.
All right, Sherry, we'll be waiting patiently.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back, folks. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And remember to, if you can, help us out funding, keeping our reporter out there. We have her funded till tonight and or tomorrow, and hopefully maybe we can continue. So y'all hang out, and we'll be back as soon as we can. She's headed down to the shelters and getting more appropriate for the weather, and we should be back shortly. Thanks.